Yeah, actually my family were kind of like a show family. We did performances my entire life. That's what we did. Me and my sisters, we were homeschooled. And we traveled and danced and competed and did shows. We did many different things all over the country. We were performing mainly for students and school-age children. It could be students in kindergarten all the way up through college, but mainly we were educators. We tried to educate people on Native people and how we really were, I guess, was our goal. We had kind of a different life than most people I grew up with or most people that I know. So it was sometimes it was really fun and it was really great. Sometimes it was hard to be away from home so much, but I think that I'm a better person for it because I wouldn't have got to see all the things that I've got to see and experience things that people, other people that I know, they haven't got to experience things that I have got to experience. So when you make your own money at a young age, you realize you have priorities. With money, you just don't want to go out and blow all your money on, clothes or whatever. Or toys at the time when I was younger, we wanted toys and things like that. But a lot of times we would save and save up for things we wanted and work towards something that we wanted that was something nice that, we didn't have, so we would work towards saving for that. And I think that really helped me as an adult to know how to manage my money, how to save for things, how to, go without certain things so I can have other things and things like that. So it was a little hectic when I first got my big money just because I had never had that much money at one time. So it made me a little bit nervous. But I just immediately stuck with my plan. So I went to the bank, I got the exact amount I needed for my car, and I bought my car that next week, and I did my investments that week. And then I had an account set up for my spending money that was separate from my other accounts. And I just made sure that I stuck to my plan as soon as I got it. And I think that really helped me because I think if I had have let it set for a while, I would have wanted to spend it on other things and not stuck to my plan. I think that knowing that it's there sometimes is difficult just because when things come up, you know that it's there and you want to take it and use it for different things. However, you have to tell yourself that it's better in the long run if you just leave it alone. It'll be better for you in the long run if you can just leave it alone. I think that for me is sometimes hard because sometimes I want to do things or experience things, and I know that I have all this money set aside that I could do it with. But I know that if I did that, I wouldn't have very much money for very long. So if you have a real plan of what you want to spend it on, and I'm not saying, I don't necessarily agree with, I've heard a lot of people saying, take all your money and invest it. For most people that get this money, they've never seen this kind of money before. So to take that money and put it away and just forget about it, that's really hard, and I don't think most people can do that. So I'm not saying take all your money and invest it. If you want to have spending money, then set a budget for spending money and set that aside in a separate account from the rest of the money. Do things in a smart way so that way you're not just kind of going into it without reason. You get all this money and then you just kind of don't know what to do with it, and you're kind of just, going here and there and spending it here and spending a little bit there until it's gone. You need to have a real plan. I started planning for it about a year in advance before I got my money. Me and my mom kind of sat down and worked out, what I wanted to do with it. And then we kind of estimated how much money I was going to need to do each thing, a realistic amount of money that how much I wanted for my car, how much I wanted to invest, how much I wanted for, spending, living money. And so we sat down and kind of wrote out a plan together. So I think I've always been one to have a plan. I always like to have a plan, and I always go by my plan. And sometimes my plans don't work out, and that's okay. And sometimes I might do different things than my plan, or sometimes I might do better things than what I had originally planned. But I think that to make sure to know, to have a plan and realize that things probably are going to change. Your plan might change somewhere along the way, but to look ahead so that way you're not surprised when things come up. That way you're not, kind of just going into it head on and then not realizing what you're getting into. Most young people in my community in Cherokee, they're not prepared to get that kind of money. To get that kind of money, they need to know that it's not really, it's a lot of money, but it's not, you can't live off of that forever. It needs to be, if they want a nest egg and they want to do something with it, it needs to be invested. They need to have a plan of how in the future they're going to still have that money. Because it can be spent up. I know somebody that spent it in 2 months, and I've known people that spend it in a year. And I've also known people that still have money. So it just depends on how a person does it, how a person handles it. And I think that they need to know that I think that there's like a stigma that comes with it, that everybody is like, oh, they're big money. It's this big deal. They're getting this big money, and everybody is kind of out. They want to borrow it from them, and they want them to take them out to eat, or they want to go out and eat, and they want to spend this money, and they want to do this because they've never had the chance or the opportunity to do it before. And then it's gone. I think they need to know that it's really, in the whole scheme of life, it's really not that much money. It's really just a small amount of money that they're going to get this one time. And if they don't do something with it, then it's going to go away. I feel like sometimes not having money limits me, just because I want to do things, I want to travel, and I want to do a lot of different things. And sometimes if I don't have the money for that, I'm not able to do it. So as long as I have enough money to not worry and to be able to be financially free, and that means, for me in my life, that means free to do what I want to do. There's a lot of people, they're raised in really rough environments and really rough homes. Their parents might be drug addicts or alcoholics or abusive or just not there at all. And I feel like people use that, and maybe this is harsh, but I feel like young people use that as a crutch to be the same way. And I think that it's time now for us to start to succeed and not use the horrible things that happened to our ancestors or even in our own lives as a crutch to say, oh, well, I didn't know these things. I didn't know how to invest my money, but I figured it out and I did it. It might not be the absolute 100% best way I could have done it, but it's there and it's working. I mean, I did it. So my hope for my community in the future is that we take our opportunities and really start to get into different jobs and things like that, that we can be not successful as a nation, like as a nation of people, but also successful individually.